Hey guys, my name is Luke. I'm the community manager here at Modus Games. I'm joined by Modus producer Bruce, and we're going to be playing some Override 2 for you today. Bruce, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about Override 2.
So right now, we're playing kind of a slice of the game, and so we're seeing a portion of the roster, but do you want to talk a little bit about the full roster for Override 2?
Yeah, definitely. So in Override 2 at launch, we're going to have 20 mechs. A lot of those mechs are returning mechs from the first game, and we also are adding a lot of new mechs too. And we just announced Ultramen a couple of weeks ago, and I'm happy to say that we're going to, at launch, have one Ultraman mech in addition to the 20 mechs in the base roster.
Nice. And so each of the mechs that you see on the screen and that Bruce was mentioning are all going to have their own unique abilities. They all have their own unique personalities, and you're going to get to see a few of those as we're playing through today. You're also able to customize these mechs in various different ways. Bruce, you want to talk about some of the ways that people can do that?
Yeah, definitely. So when you're playing through the game's career mode, you earn coins, and you can use those coins to unlock accessories to customize your mech. So you just go to the garage, and in the garage you can pick out custom hats, you can equip custom skins, and it's really great because you're able to make the mech your own.
All right, well, let's jump into a match and show people what these characters can do. All right, so we're here in one of the arenas. Bruce is playing as one of the returning mechs, which is Watchbot, and I'm playing as another returning mech, Mustache. And we just want to show you guys some of the basics of gameplay here. So, Bruce, let's talk through some of the basic attacks.
So if I go ahead, I can do a light punch, I can do a heavy punch, I can do a light kick, I can do a heavy kick.
So this is quite a bit different from the first game where you had the individual limb control with each of the various inputs. This is more based off of the light attacks and the heavy attacks.
Yeah, definitely. So a big difference here is that you're attacking with your full body. So if I punch, my lower body moves, my whole body moves, and I'm committed to that attack.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about mobility then.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a dash. Dash is super useful to avoid attacks, and it's also useful to get around the map. We also have a jump, and we have a double jump. And what's really kind of cool about this is these mobility options can combine with basic attacks. So I can do a jumping kick, I can do a jumping punch.
All right. And then, obviously, no fighting game would be complete without defensive abilities, ways to counter your opponents. So we're able to block with this shield. And this is not an infinite shield, so the more Bruce attacks me, the more damage it takes. And then if it fully breaks, it'll stun me for a moment. And then, so you're not able to block infinitely. But there's also a way for your character to break that block, and that is through the grab, which Bruce just did there. So if I'm blocking, he can grab, it ignores my block, and he throws me across the map. So with the new controls and the new fluidity to gameplay, another big thing in this is the ability to combo move. So why don't you show us a few of the cool combos that you can do with Watchbot?
Yeah, definitely. So you can combine together your basic attacks to create a combo.
And this is kind of showcasing the another big difference you'll see from people who played Override 1, and that's the faster combat, the more fluid combat. What was kind of the thought process in making that change?
So we wanted to preserve a lot of what made the original Override great, while also learning from the community feedback to improve it in very specific ways. So we had a lot of feedback from the first game that led us to speeding up a lot of the attacks. But it was also important for us to keep a lot of the accessibility of the original game, to keep the sort of focus on having a few basic moves that you can combine together, the ease of execution. This was something that was huge in the first game, and we've tried our best to kind of keep true to that.
So let's see some of those unique abilities that WatchBot has.
Yeah, definitely. So every character in the game has 4 special attacks. So WatchBot has a ranged plasma cannon attack. He has a rising punch special attack. An EMP burst that stuns the opponent. And a slashing sword charge attack.
And the controls for these unique abilities will translate to the different characters that you're playing as well. So I'm playing as Mustache. So I also have 4 unique abilities that are mapped to those same controls as WatchBots are. So even if I'm switching through characters, I know that I can easily pick this character up, and while their abilities are different, the controls still make sense to me. So for instance, Mustache has this grab attack. He has this ranged dash attack that's really good to use in corners. He has a ground pound, and one of the unique things about this is if you hit your opponent with that ground pound, you can fire it a second time. So, and then he also has where he punches, and so this does damage from range as well. Punches the ground and causes a shockwave to move across, and that's all done with the same control input that Bruce was using for WatchBot special abilities as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really, really awesome about Override 2, is that you can execute all of these special moves just by combining together the basic inputs. You don't have to memorize really complicated combo sequences.
And each mech also has an ultimate ability, so you'll see as you're playing through the matches that there are these yellow circles that will pop up, and if you stand in those, it'll give you ult charge. So up in the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see my health bar and also the ultimate charge bar. So the more damage I take, the less ultimate charge that I need, and once it's charged up, I can fire off my ultimate ability like so and deal a ton of damage with that. And that's unique across each character as well. So why don't we just put this all together and show people what an actual fight looks like. Yeah, one of the great things about Override's gameplay is just the accessibility in it. It's got very deep combat, and there's a lot of cool things that you can do as you learn the different abilities that your characters have. But there's also a real kind of pick up and play ability to it as well, where even people who don't have a ton of experience in fighting games like myself can pick up a controller and feel like you can do a lot of cool things with the mech that you're playing as. And this is one of how many arenas are going to be in the final game, Bruce?
There's going to be 8 unique arenas in the final game.
So right now we're playing in Desert.
Yes, we're playing in Desert.
Which is a really good one for something like this where we're just trying to show off the gameplay. But as you'll see in the next match that we're going to play, there's a lot of really cool, unique personality to the arenas as well.
Yeah, definitely. Every arena has their own unique obstacles and environmental objects, and the environmental objects are really cool because they help you. They both help and hinder you as you're playing the match, and can kind of give you a competitive advantage. So you'll see as we're playing through some of these that you're able to throw objects in the environment and use them to sort of block enemy attacks. So you can see as we're playing through this that a lot of the objects in the environment are destructible, and you can pick up and throw a lot of the objects in the environment at your enemy.
And in true fashion, they explode on impacts.
Yeah, definitely. You also see that as we're playing the map, weapons spawn, so you can go ahead and grab those weapons and use them to beat on your enemy.
So Sprinkles is a new bot, and she's got a lot of cool abilities. She has the ability to fire hard candies. She can fire out a giant bubblegum bubble, I guess, that will lock your opponent up and send them floating away. And you can, when they're not bouncing around all the trampolines on Casino, you can attack them while they're in the air.
Yeah, it's a good ability for crowd control.
And she's got this ability to throw out hard candies that will stun. And then she also has a dash attack.
Yeah, so with Vintage, we have a charge tantrum attack. And we have a AoE stun called Thunder. We have a blaster. And we have his signature ability to save and restore the save, basically teleport. One of the real cool things about this teleport ability is that if Luke happens to sort of be standing on top of it when I teleport, it'll frag him a bit and he'll take damage.
Some of the maps will also include different hazards, like there's a lava arena where when you're standing in the lava, you will take damage.
Yeah, definitely. And in that lava level, you also have a lot of kind of hazards that make sense for it. You've got lava that shoots up. You've got rocks that you can throw.
So when your character takes a certain amount of damage, and then they'll get knocked, but there's a way to cancel that down, correct?
Yeah, so if you get knocked down by certain abilities that knock you down, you can do a quick get up to get up right away. So it's something that can mix up your enemy a bit if they're not really expecting you to get up.
So in addition to 1v1 matches like we've been playing through, there's a few different modes as well that are going to incorporate anywhere from 1 to 4 players. That's both that includes both local and online, correct?
Yeah, definitely. So in the final game, we have a lot of modes. We have 1v1, we have 2v2, we have FFA, so up to 4-player FFA. We have a PvE mode called Xenoswarm, where you fight against enemy AI opponents. We have a game mode called Control that is a King of the Hill style map where you fight for control of the center of the arena.
Override 2 is releasing this December. You can pre-order it now at various retailers, and we can't wait to brawl against you in the arena this holiday season.